All right, guys, as promised, we are back with the Diablo 4 patch notes. They came out this morning. I'm just able to get to recording this video. But anyway, here it is. It's up and running, and let's go ahead and jump in. Let me know what you think of the Season 3 changes coming to Diablo 4 down below in the comments. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, too, if you enjoy the content that I'm producing. So let's go ahead and jump in here because it is beefy, like they said it would be. They had a ton of great content in the developer live stream yesterday. We got some really good insights into what the season is, how they're planning, future updates with the beginning of season update, the way they're going to shift, fix bugs mid-season. And they talked really a lot about the roadmap. There was a lot of good that came out of it, in my opinion. There was some, mediocre bad. I'm still on the fence about the whole, whether or not the vaults should be at the beginning of the season or not. I kind of am bummed out that it's not there because I think it would have been a really cool race when everybody was starting at 0 to get that run, get that level 100, get in the vault and get that leaderboard spot first there. That would have been a lot of fun. But I also understand why the devs switched it out to make sure it is a couple weeks into the season. So that way everybody's at 100. Maybe they had the power max. But my concern with that is myself and the guys that I run with, we don't have a ton of time to play. So it's going to be a little bit of a while before we can get those uber uniques and be able to, get in there. We're competing with the people on the top of the leaderboards that are able to just farm Duriel over and over again and get all of those uber uniques and stacked up to maximize their builds. May have a little bit more of a chance. Either way, let's dive into these patch notes real quick and jump into it. So it's important to note players invest in a skill. Okay, we went over all that. They're doing a lot of stuff with class balancing. We know that, they're bringing down Hoda Barb. They're bringing down Ball Lightning Sork, which is fine. I'm not going to go too deep into Sork and Necro updates just because those are kind of two classes. I'm not Necro. I usually love in Diablo 3, but I'm still kind of a little disenfranchised with that class in this game. No offense to any of the Necros out there. I just haven't found that one build that I really like, where with Rogue and Barb and Druid, I'm having a lot of fun. So we'll focus more on those. So let's dive in real quick. We got some new class items. For Barb, we have the Pain Gorger's Gauntlets, and then a new aspect of adaptability. Damage enemies with a non-cast basic skill marks them for 3 seconds. When a basic skill first hits a marked enemy, the basic skill damages is echoed to all marked enemies, dealing... Okay, so just going back to some of the changes we'll get down to in Barb, with charge. So if you hit a non-basic skill and mark them for 3 and then hit that charge with that echoing with the way charge works, I think charge barbs are going to be big this season. Aspect utility, whenever you cast below 50% maximum basic score, generates 3 primary resource. Whenever you cast above 50% maximum basic skills, deal 40 to 80% increased damage. So that's kind of cool and really leaning into a lot of making the basic skills not just placeholders on the skill tree. I think that's pretty fun. Juggernaut aspects is defensive, gain 0.75 to 1.25 armor, but your evade has a 100% increased cooldown. So that says evade, so that does mean dodge. So you're gaining armor and sacrificing 100% cooldown. That could be not so bad if you get the implicit of attacks decrease your evade cooldown. So that could be paired with that as another defensive bonus, and that could potentially maybe get rid of disobedience. Anyway, a couple of updates to Ring of the Starless Sky. Let's see, they're changing the core. So now instead of reduces core aspect, your spending resource, and reduces resource costs and increases your damage by 10%, multiplicative for 3 seconds up to 40. That makes that pretty good. We can probably get some good damage output of that. Offensive aspect of the expectant. Damages now has a 5-second duration to be used. Okay, that's cool. So, offensive aspect of the expectant, you're not going to have just unlimited damage there. That's fine. Melted Arc Sits, all stats increased to 2x normal value. Core damage skill changed to movement speed. Okay, that's cool because that gives you now movement speed on the necklace. Wall damage while healthy increased to 3x normal value. And then we changed the unique. So previous was gain 30 maximum resource. In addition, when you take damage, drain 3 resources. Okay. Now you gain 60 resource, and 75% of incoming damage drains 2 resource for every 1% of life that you would have lost instead. Okay, I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but we'll see. We know their overpower changed. They brought down overpower quite a bit, which is something was to be expected. Overpower was just way too overpowered, pun intended, completely. All right, anyway, let's get into Barb. Ring of the Ravenous, new items. We have Ren's duration is increased by 2 to 4 seconds, damaging enemies with brawling skills. Apply 2 stacks of Ren's bleed. This effect can only occur once every 4 seconds per enemy. So that could be really fun for a bleed Barb build, especially with charge when you get the bleed in there. And then hit that charge. That could be massive damage. We're going to have to play around it. Again, everything that I'm saying here is hypothetical. We are going to do some theory crafting tonight on the Twitch stream, so we'll jump in there. Aspect of the Shrouded Ground. Every 25 seconds, upheaval is guaranteed to overpower and deals 10 to 20% damage. Increased damage. This timer is reduced for 4 seconds when upheaval overpowers a boss or lead enemy. So that could be fun if you want to go a straight upheaval build. Upheaval is still my favorite skill to level Barb with. Skills, we know that charge is getting a 900% increase from 2.25 to 2.5, and enhanced charge terrain impact damage increased by 150%. Power charge no longer requires terrain impact to reduce cooldown. That's cool. We increase the base damage of leap. Brute force, overpower damage decrease. We know that because we're bringing that down. Walking arsenal, having all bonuses also now increase attack. That's fun. Okay. So now we can get some of the attack speed that we had to have doing a walking arsenal build off of that, which is good. Additional damage from having all bonuses is up by 5%. That's fun. Berserking damage bonus increased from 60 to 100% on unconstrained. Okay, that's good. Gushing wounds, bleed. Bonus bleed amount increased from 115 to 140. Overpower explosion damage increased from 70. Okay, that's cool. Weapon expertise leveling has been cut by 50%. So you're going to be able to level those weapons up faster. Martial glyph now reduces cooldown of every non-shout skill by 4 seconds instead of every other shout skill by 1.2 seconds. Okay, that's cool. More shouts, always good. Resource of Fury now generates Echoing Fury now generates Extend Fury while any shout skill is active instead of 2 to 4 Fury. Okay, for each. All right, that's cool. So we're getting more Fury just when a shout is active. Limitless Rage, Danis bonus has been extended, or now has a 5-second duration. Veterans Brawler, reduced damage per stack from 15 to 20 to 6 to 8, and reduced maximum bonus from 225 to 3. Okay, that's cool. Offensive aspect of Ancestral Charge, reduced damage bonus from 75 to 125 to 20 to 30. That's to compensate for the skill. Encroaching Wrath, reduced weapon mastery damage to 40 to 60. Damage bonus now has a 5-second duration to be used. Okay, that makes sense. Ring of Red Fear. Damage bonus now has a 5-second duration to be used. Okay, that's cool. So you can't just walk around with the stacks of damage waiting. You actually have to build them, right? Like, because everybody would just to one-shot Duriel. You know, we'd build up our stacks of everything would go in one-shot Duriel. So now we're actually going to have to be active in the fight, which I'm okay with. Druid, new items, Unsaying, Aesthetics Wraps, Lightning Storm games. So this makes me very excited to try Lightning Storm on Druid with a lot of the things there. They talked about Ravies. They increased the damage from Razies. Lacerate, reduced the cooldown 30 seconds. Prime, Lacerate, change function to Lacerate, hits, heals for 3 for the next one. Increase critical strike. Okay, so you're getting double for crits. That's good. Cataclysm, Twister damage, good. Lightning damage increased up to 95%. That's kind of cool. Increase the vulnerability duration of Supreme. And then we've got a bunch of changes to Mending, Thick Hide, Unconstrained. I don't think there was anything super noteworthy in here when I went through these a little bit earlier. The Spirit Boons. Prickle Skin, we know they talked about that on the thing. That's going to be interesting if you want to build a Thorns build. They up the maximum Spirit or Gift to Stag from 10 to 20. That's good. And then Avian Rant. Avian Rant is now multiplicative as opposed to additive. So that'll be a lot of fun. Anything in the Tectonic? They did not mention anything about on Barb about bringing down, fixing the bug, though. with Hoda, where you're getting both of them, or unless I missed it. That's weird they wouldn't mention anything about that in patch notes. Druid. Did passives. Okay, great. Spirit boons, we went through all that. Item updates. Blurred Beast. Okay, so they fixed the bug where that was double dipping into the damage. So that's fine. Boulder Spirit cost reduced from 2040. That's cool. Aspect of the Unsatiated. Spirit generation bonus damage increase. Okay, so that's good. More Spirit, always good. Necro. I don't think I'm going to get too much into Necro. I do want to note that if you are a Sever Necro like I am playing, they increased the damage of both the initial damage, which is nice, and the return damage, which will be a good for us Sever players. Bone Spirit, Dreadful Bone Spirit, Acolytes Decompose, Dreadful Bloodless Bud. They did note yesterday that we will no longer get trapped in the Bone Spears. I think they mentioned that down there. They mentioned the Golem. They're changing it so all the Golems do the same thing now, which is good. Nothing really I want to go into there. Now we'll get into my favorite, which is Rogue. And I'm really excited because it looks like Rogue now, with the way the construct works with you, Rogue is going to have a little tank buddy out there that you will be able to, engage. It'll get everything, and then you'll be able to step back with Rogue. So maybe an ultimate Rain of Arrows build with enough cooldown and enough crit and things like that will be kind of cool. So we'll play around with that tonight on the stream when we get into building some stuff. What we're getting, Beastfall Boots. Whenever you cast an ultimate skill, your next core skill consumes all of your energy and deals 0.5 to 1.5 increased damage per energy consumed using a cooldown resource 5 energy. So that could be a lot of fun when using, if you want to use a flurry, right, as your core skill. Maybe would give you that nice energy boost to make flurry actually hit. The only problem is with flurry is it's not that focused single target damage. Breaking Concealment grants resistant assailants aspect. Breaking Concealment grants 10% resistance and maximum resist to all elements for 4 seconds. And then killing an elite enemy reduces Concealment's cooldown by 6 to 10 seconds. So that could be fun in front of some of those stickier fights, especially when we start getting into the vaults with all those traps, if you're getting reduced resistance, elemental resistance damage. Blade Shift increased its damage again this season from 16 to 20%, so that's cool. Duration increased from 3 to 5 seconds. I don't know if that's going to beat Puncture, but that's fine. Invigorating Strike now vulnerable now applies while you are below 85% energy, up from 75% energy. Okay, that's fine. Caltrips, they updated. Previous enemies take 5% increased damage from you each second they are in the Caltrips. Now enemies in Caltrips take 10% multiplicative increased damage. You increase from 5. Okay, that's fine. Rain of Arrows, cast time reduced by 15%, and the first wave of arrows hits closer to the player. That's cool. Cold Imbuement now increases 5% per skill rank, up from 2.5. Okay, so that's that's a 50% increase. That's a giant jump, or 100% increase, excuse me. That's a giant jump. Blended Cold Imbuement removes the critical strike requirement, increases the lucky hit chance from 20. Okay, so that makes Cold Imbuement actually worth playing. Mixed Poison. So this is one of the ones they changed. Poison imbued skills have a 30% chance to apply double the amount of poison damage over time, is what it was. And now it is poison imbued skills have a 30% chance to reduce poison imbuement's cooldown by 2 seconds. Okay, so they're taking away some of the damage and the double dipping that we were getting here and adding that to the cooldown, which is not necessarily a negative. I think it's just more, you're going to have to just apply poison imbuement a little bit more smartly. Forceful Arrow, increased vulnerable, nothing really big there. Penetrating Pen Shot deals 10% increased damage per enemy it pierces. Now it does 10% additive damage, increased critical strike chance. If penetrating shot damages at least 3 energies, gain 10% critical strike chance. Okay, that's cool. Improved. They changed that to multiplicative. Okay, that's fine. Passive. Amount of damage versus crowd controlled. Bonus conversion percentage reduced from 40 to 10%. Okay, that's fine. I never really ran close quarters anyway. Precision. Okay, the new precision is each marksman skill cast grants 1 second precision, or 2 if critically struck. When 6 stacks, your next marksman skill or ultimate skill is a guaranteed critical strike that deals 50% multiplicative increased critical strike damage, consuming all stacks of precision. This damage is further increased by the amount equal to 15% of your critical strike damage bonus. Okay, so that makes precision for a range, really nice. Chilling weight. Previous chilled enemies have their movement speed reduced further than okay. Great. Concussive. Damage you gain 4%. Okay, that's fine. Paragon, they updated this one. They changed Blade Dancer from 2 to 3 times, which is fine. Stolen Vigor. Each dagger heals you for 0.4 per second, grants you 5%. Okay, so they added a damage reduction element to this. Icy Alchemists. What does it do? Shadow imbued skills have a 75% chance to release an explosion that deals to a target and surrounding enemies, chilling them for 25% if they were already chilled or frozen. Increases damage by 100%. So that actually makes that pretty good. Toxic Alchemist. Shadow imbued skills have a 75% chance to create toxic explosions. So they're taking away that and making it just a base hit thing. Some updates to Wind Force and Sky Hunter. I'm still not convinced that any of these are going to be worth running over some of the aspects. I'm not going to go into Sork, guys, because I've never really played Sork. We know that this Meteor one is, Meteor now has 2 charges and 11 to 16 cooldown mana cost. That's kind of cool. Let's go get into some of the gameplay. End game activities. We've got Helltide is now going to be active, which they went over, which is pretty awesome. So that's good. So we're going to get Helltide is basically going to be up all the time, which will be a lot of fun. Good way to level, good way to just farm mats as you're leveling up. Once you get to World Tier 3, players can now more consistently acquire Distilled Fear. I really don't care about Distilled Fear, right? There was nothing in the Beast device that really made it that great for me. Scrolls of Scrape now populate in Lost Item Stash if a player misses one to drop. Stack limit increased from 20 to 99. Appears legendary. Okay, that's fine. Chance for Scattered Prisms to drop when defeating an elite monster has been reduced. That's a bummer. Scattered Prisms can now be acquired from Legion event chests. Okay, that's fine. Material cap has been increased from 99,000 to 999,000. They keep having to put that one up. Treasure Goblins spawned while fighting Arvice now have the same loot potential as normally encountered treasure. That's good. World Tier 3 and World Tier 4 boss weekly caches can now drop unique items. That's friggin' awesome. So it's not uber uniques, but it is class-specific unique, so that's really good. Increased the cap for item power on drops from world bosses and adjusted. Previous was plus 100 to min, plus 100 to max. New is plus 65 to min, plus 25 to max. Okay. World bosses are intended to roll powerful loot for your level. With this change, at a high level, players will see maximum item and then power gear world bosses. Okay, so that's fine. Itemization power ranges for dropped items and in-game bosses. So this is what they were talking about yesterday with the loot tables and how the ranges will drop. So that's good. Varshan, you're going to still get 650 to 725 at World Tier 3. Grigori, World Tier 4. Unique item power range, 850 to 925. 8 rare legendary. Okay, that's fine. Beast and Ice. Rare legendary, 9 to 920. Okay, cool. Duriel remains unchanged. Will always drop 925. So Duriel is still the most efficient farm for 925 gear. Nightmare Dungeon item power scale has been adjusted. This is good. Monster levels at level 100 will drop 845 to 925 versus that 820, which was a pain. So that means you can hit that next breakpoint. Rare items, previous 825, that's fine. Monster levels at 125, that even tightens up even more. So now at 125, so when you go into the vaults at tier 1 at level 100, you're going to get all of that nice 910 to 925 gear, which will be good. Monsters above level 144, Nightmare Dungeons tier 90 plus, are now guaranteed to drop. That's fantastic. All right, here we go. Miscellaneous. Potion count will no longer need to be reset after dying and being revived by another player. Okay. Hatred's Chosen Siphon effect is no longer based on lucky hit. That's cool. Greed Shrine effect now also will drop additional gold after the effect expires. The amount of gold dropped is determined by how many enemies were killed while the Greed Shrine buff was active. Okay. Uber unique items can now be unlocked as transmogs. So does that mean I have to go in and break all my break down my Harlequins? With that, I don't know if that's it. User interface settings. New settings have been added to allow navigation, full keyboard, including WASD. That's good for keyboard and mouse player. Bonuses from keywords such as berserking now also denote whether any associated damage bonus is additive or multiplicative. That's nice to know. Event timers are now displayed on the world map. That's good. The visual effect for being chilled will now visually increase in intensity to denote how close the chilled character is to being frozen. Default button bindings for mount actions have been adjusted to make it more intuitive on controller. That's good. Additional stash tab is now available to be purchased with gold. Okay, that's nice. The icons for Helltide chests of Mystery and Living Steel chests have been updated to make them more visually distinctive from other chest icons. That's nice. The button for confirming gold amount in trade on controller has been changed to Y or triangle or console. This will allow pressing A or X on console to bring up a virtual keyboard to manually enter. Oh, fantastic. So now you can manually enter gold for us console plebes as opposed to having to hold up until you get to the amount you want. We've introduced a player respecting Chiltree. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into that. We'll see how that pans out. Screen reader updates. Was there anything in here? Fix an issue where players get a okay, that's fine. Drowned Sea Hag could spawn excessive number of minions. That wasn't a problem with me. Druid, Necromancer, Rogue, bug fixes, user interface experience, quests and dungeons. That's fine. Miscellaneous. They didn't really add anything about stuff like that. So either way, that's it. I think there's a lot of good updates in here. Again, because there's no PTR for us to actually go play. It's still fun. A lot of good stuff here. We will see how it plays out on Tuesday when we get in there. Like I said, I'm going to be live tonight on my stream playing around with some builds, so check it out there. And then I'm excited to jump in. Again, I've taken a couple weeks off at the end of the season here. Season 2 here to kind of cool down and reset. But now we're going to jump back in on Tuesday. We're going to get that season 3 going. We're going to get our little construct and we're going to be crushing stuff. I will see you guys around Sanctuary and we'll catch you next time. Take care.